The Coalition survey ship Stellar Whisper drifted through the debris field of the outer rim, its sensors painting electronic pictures of countless asteroids and ancient battle debris. Lieutenant Zinra adjusted her detection arrays, her four eyes blinking in sequence as she monitored the incoming data. After 3 weeks of routine scanning, she had cataloged enough space rocks to last a lifetime. Central, another cluster ahead, she reported, her translator converting her native clicks into standard Coalition speech. Composition appears standard. Nickel iron, traces of platinum group metals, nothing remarkable. Captain Mextel chittered an acknowledgement from his command pod. The Stellar Whisper continued its methodical survey, pushing deeper into the uncharted region. Their mission was simple: map safe routes for Coalition merchant vessels through the treacherous asteroid field. Zinra's sensors chirped. She dismissed the alert at first, assuming another metallic asteroid. The signal persisted, growing stronger. Her upper eyes widened as she processed the readings. "Captain, anomalous mass detected," she announced, her voice taking on the sharp edge of excitement. "Profile suggests artificial construction. Size reading must be incorrect." Mextel glided to her station on his gravity harness. "Clarify, Lieutenant." "Sir, if these readings are accurate, we're detecting a vessel approximately 12 kilometers in length." Her appendages flew over the controls, refining the scan. "Structure is intact, showing signs of advanced engineering beyond current Coalition standards." The bridge fell silent. The largest modern Coalition vessels barely reached 3 kilometers. A ship 4 times that size belonged in fiction, not reality. "Full stop," Mextel ordered. "Launch probe array. Let's get a visual." The Stellar Whisper deployed its sensor drones, their cameras piercing the darkness. The first images materialized on the main display, causing gasps across the bridge. Against the backdrop of space, a massive silhouette emerged. Its hull was dark, but the design spoke of power and purpose. Smooth curves blended with angular platforms, creating a profile that somehow managed to be both beautiful and intimidating. "Energy spike," Zinra called out, multiple systems activating aboard the target vessel. Before Mextel could respond, points of light flickered across the mysterious ship's hull. Ancient defense systems awakened, scanning the Stellar Whisper with technology that penetrated their most advanced shields as if they weren't there. "Sir," the communications officer reported, "we're receiving a transmission. It's using protocols that haven't been standard for 3 centuries." The message was brief but clear. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered the defensive perimeter of the Terran Empire ship Hyperion. Maintain position and identify yourself." The bridge erupted in chaos. Every Coalition citizen knew that name from historical archives. The Hyperion, humanity's masterpiece, their ultimate achievement in military engineering. The ship that had single-handedly held off an entire attack fleet during the last Battle of Sol, buying time for thousands of civilian vessels to escape. It had vanished during that battle, taking with it secrets that had become legend. "Lieutenant," Mextel said slowly, "verify historical records against structural scan." Zinra's appendages trembled as she compared the data. "Match confirmed, Captain." Hull configuration, energy signatures, and material composition all align with historical documentation of the TES Hyperion. This is impossible. The ship should have been destroyed centuries ago." As if responding to their doubt, the Hyperion's external lights activated in sequence. Kilometers of advanced alloys and technology came into full view, the ship's name clearly visible in ancient human script along its flanks. Its hull bore the scars of desperate battles, yet the vessel's majesty remained undone by time. "Send priority alert to Coalition Command," Mextel ordered, his voice barely a whisper. Inform them that humanity's lost legacy has been found, and it's still alive." The Stellar Whisper's message would reach Coalition space within hours, spreading news that would shake the foundations of galactic society. Humanity's greatest creation had survived, preserved in the depths of space, and with it, perhaps, the answers to questions that had haunted the galaxy for 300 years. Dr. Lyra Venn stood in the Hyperion's airlock chamber, her heart pounding as atmospheric processors hummed to life. After 3 days of careful preparation, the Coalition research team was finally boarding humanity's legendary vessel. Her specialized environmental suit felt tight around her neck, a reminder of the unknown conditions awaiting them. Final checks complete, her assistant, Renko, reported through the comm system. Internal atmosphere reads as Earth standard. Temperature at 19 degrees Celsius. Lyra nodded, her decade of studying human artifacts leading to this moment. Remember, touch nothing without scanning first. This ship is centuries ahead of our technology. We treat everything as potentially reactive. The airlock cycled open with a soft hiss, revealing a corridor that defied its age. Clean lines of polished metal stretched into the distance, illuminated by lights that activated as they approached. No dust, no deterioration. The preservation was impossible, yet undeniable. Incredible. Renko whispered, his sensor wand tracking multiple energy signatures. These systems aren't just preserved, they're active. The power management alone is beyond anything in our databases. Their team moved deeper into the ship, each step revealing new marvels. Holographic interfaces sparkled to life as they passed, displaying information in ancient human script. Lyra's translation software worked overtime, converting the cascade of data. The first surprise came at a security checkpoint. A scanning beam swept over their group, followed by a synthesized voice that made everyone freeze. "Welcome aboard, Dr. Venn. The Hyperion's AI core acknowledges your Coalition research credentials. Please proceed to the bridge for priority protocol activation." "It knows who I am," Lyra breathed, her professional composure cracking. The AI is fully functional. The journey to the bridge became a lesson in human engineering. Every door opened automatically. Every system responded to their presence. The ship wasn't just preserved. It was waiting. The bridge itself took Lyra's breath away. 3 tiers of control stations surrounded a central command platform, all maintained in pristine condition. As they entered, the main view screen activated, displaying a geometric pattern that coalesced into a human face. "I am ARIA, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Algorithm of the TES Hyperion," the AI announced. "Dr. Venn, your genetic profile indicates significant markers of human ancestry. This qualifies you for Level 1 protocol activation." Lyra's hands trembled. Her great-grandmother had been human, a fact that had drawn her to xenorcheology. What? What protocols? "The Hyperion carries 10,000 crew members in quantum stasis," Ariel explained. "Among them is Admiral Sarah Chen and the command staff. Revival protocols require genetic confirmation from either human authority or validated descendants." The revelation stunned the research team. Not just a preserved ship, but living humans. The implications were staggering. "Show me," Lyra demanded. Ariel guided them to the stasis deck. Rows of crystalline chambers filled the vast space, each containing a perfectly preserved human. Status displays showed stable life signs, minds, and bodies suspended in time. "Admiral Chen's revival sequence is prepared," Araya announced. "Awaiting your authorization, Dr. Venn." Lyra stepped forward, placing her hand on the authentication panel. Light pulsed beneath her palm, reading the fragments of human DNA in her cells. The central stasis pod began to glow. Through the crystal, Lyra watched Admiral Sarah Chen's eyes open for the first time in 3 centuries. The woman's gaze was sharp, alert, as if she had merely taken a short nap. The pod's crystal structure dissolved, allowing Chen to step forward with perfect stability. "Status report," Chen demanded, her voice clear and commanding. "Admiral," Araya responded. 312 years have passed since initiation of the preservation protocol. The Hyperion has been discovered by Coalition forces. Dr. Venn, a human descendant, has authorized revival procedures. Chen's eyes locked onto Lyra, measuring her with the intensity of a leader who had commanded humanity's greatest warship. "Tell me, Doctor," she said quietly, "what became of Earth? Of our people?" Lyra straightened her spine, feeling the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. The answer she gave would change everything. The Grand Assembly Chamber of the Coalition buzzed with nervous energy as representatives from 50 species gathered for an emergency session. Holographic displays show the Hyperion in orbit around Coalition Station Alpha, its massive form dwarfing modern vessels that circled it like cautious insects. Admiral Chen stood at the speaker's podium, her white uniform pristine, her posture perfect. 3 days of briefings had prepared her for this moment, but nothing could have truly readied her for addressing the descendants of both allies and enemies. "Honorable representatives," she began, her voice carrying across the chamber. 3 centuries ago, humanity faced extinction. The Hyperion's survival was not an accident, but a testament to human foresight. We preserved not just lives, but knowledge that belongs to all sentient species. The Assembly's reaction was immediate. Species that had been neutral during the ancient conflict leaned forward with interest. Others, particularly those who had profited from humanity's apparent extinction, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. High Chancellor Vex of the Modern Sciences Division rose to speak. "Admiral, our preliminary scans of the Hyperion reveal technology that defies our current understanding of physics. The ship's quantum matrices alone could advance our civilization by centuries. Surely, sharing this knowledge would benefit everyone." Chen's expression remained neutral, but her eyes flickered to where Dr. Venn sat among the scientific advisors. The xenorchaeologist gave an almost imperceptible nod, confirming what they had discussed privately. "Chancellor, the Hyperion's database contains solutions to problems your scientists haven't even discovered yet. But knowledge without wisdom brings destruction. We learned this lesson at great cost." The chamber erupted in debate. Voices called for immediate technology transfer, others demanded the humans be placed under protective custody. Through it all, Chen stood unmoved, a relic of humanity's golden age facing a future her people never expected to see. "Order!" The assembly speaker's amplified voice cut through the chaos. "Admiral Chen still holds the floor." Chen activated her datapad, and the chamber's displays shifted to show historical records. "While my crew slept, history was rewritten. These documents show how our research was misappropriated, our achievements claimed by others. The Hyperion's records tell a different story. The evidence was irrefutable. Patents filed centuries after humanity's disappearance were shown to be based on stolen human research. Trade routes mapped by human explorers have been renamed. Even the fundamental principles of quantum drive technology bore human fingerprints. "We did not return to claim dominion," Chen continued as murmurs spread through the chamber. "The Hyperion and her crew stand ready to share our knowledge, but only with those who understand its responsibility. Our ship carries more than weapons and technological wonders. We preserve art, music, literature, the full spectrum of human achievement." A representative from the outer colonies stood, his crystalline form refracting light. "What guarantees do we have that humanity won't seek revenge for past wrongs?" Chen's response was measured but firm. "We slept for 3 centuries to ensure our knowledge wouldn't be used for destruction. If revenge was our goal, we would have awakened long ago. Instead, we chose patience, waiting for a time when wisdom might match technological progress." The chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. The Hyperion wasn't just a warship, it was a seed of humanity's renaissance, planted deliberately in time's fertile soil. "The choice before this assembly is simple," Chen concluded. "We can move forward together, combining human innovation with 300 years of coalition progress, or we can repeat the mistakes that led to our disappearance. The Hyperion stands ready to help build a future worthy of all our peoples." As Chen stepped down from the podium, Dr. Venn noticed movement in the diplomatic section. Representatives were already forming into groups, alliances shifting like constellations rearranging themselves in the night sky. The game of galactic politics had begun, But this time, humanity held cards no one had expected them to save. Warning klaxons echoed through Coalition Station Alpha's corridors as Admiral Chen strode onto the Hyperion's bridge. The crew moved with practiced precision despite their 3 centuries sleep, each taking their stations as if they had never left them. Multiple vessels on approach vector, Lieutenant Hassan reported from Tactical, reading 23 Coalition heavy cruisers and 5 dreadnoughts. They're charging weapons. Chen settled into her command chair, her expression calm. Status of revival operations. 98% of crew awakened and at battle stations, Executive Officer Rivera confirmed. Ariel has completed full systems check. All stations report ready. Through the main viewport, Chen watched the Coalition fleet take up attack positions. Their formation was textbook, designed to trap the Hyperion against the station's gravity well. Modern tactical doctrine at its finest, but they didn't understand what they were facing. Admiral, Dr. Ven spoke from her observer station, you should know those ships carry enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Ariel, initiate Defense Protocol Sierra. Show them how we danced during the Battle of Sol. The Hyperion systems surged to life. Quantum fields rippled across its hull, creating layers of defense that made modern shields look primitive. Energy readings that had been dormant for centuries climbed to levels that sent Coalition sensors into confusion. The first salvos came from the cruisers, plasma torpedoes and graviton beams designed to disable large targets. They struck the Hyperion's quantum fields and simply ceased to exist, converted to pure energy and absorbed into the ship's power grid. Incoming transmission from Coalition Command, communications announced. They're demanding our immediate surrender. Return broadcast, all frequencies, Chen ordered. This is Admiral Chen of the TES Hyperion. We will not surrender humanity's legacy to those who would misuse it. Any vessel that fires upon us again will learn why the Hyperion was called the Lightning Dancer. 3 dreadnoughts answered with their main guns. Time seemed to slow as rivers of energy surged toward the Hyperion. The quantum fields flickered, and for a moment, Dr. Ven held her breath. Now, Ariel, Chen commanded. Show them what point defense really means. The Hyperion's response was beautiful in its precision. Microsecond adjustments in its quantum fields created gravitational lenses, catching the incoming fire and redirecting it harmlessly into space. Not a single shot reached the hull. Multiple target locks, Hassan reported. They're coordinating for a mass strike. Chen's voice carried the weight of centuries of human military experience. Ariel, execute maneuver pattern Epsilon. Let's remind them why they called us the Lightning Dancer. The massive carrier moved like a ship a fraction of its size. Quantum drives engaged, creating microjumps that seemed to split the Hyperion into multiple vessels. The Coalition fleet's carefully planned crossfire passed through empty space as the carrier danced between their shots. Reading power spikes across their fleet, Hassan called out. They're preparing another salvo. Time to leave, Chen decided. Plot quantum corridor exit point to coordinates Alpha 7. Ariel, demonstrate our departure protocol. Energy coursed through the Hyperion's quantum matrices. Space itself began to twist as the carrier generated its own jump point, a feat the Coalition had deemed impossible with current technology. The fabric of reality parted before the ship like a curtain being drawn aside. Admiral, Dr. Ven said quietly, you could have disabled their vessels. Why show restraint? Chen watched as the Coalition fleet grew smaller in their wake. Because we didn't preserve humanity's knowledge to prove our superiority, Doctor. We preserved it to ensure a better future. Sometimes the most powerful statement is showing what you choose not to do. The Hyperion slipped into its quantum corridor, leaving behind a fleet of stunned observers and a galaxy full of questions. Reports would soon spread across Coalition space. Tales of a ship that danced with energy weapons like they were rays of light, and of humans whose power was matched only by their restraint. As they emerged in safe space, Chen knew the real challenges were just beginning. They had shown the galaxy humanity's capabilities. Now they had to prove their wisdom. The Hyperion drifted in high orbit around Centauri Prime, a neutral trading hub known for its discretion. From her office in the ship's diplomatic sector, Dr. Venn sorted through centuries of historical data, each discovery adding pieces to a puzzle she had spent her career trying to solve. Another concordance found, Admiral, she announced as Chen entered the room. Trade records from the Arcturus Exchange show regular automated drone activity along old human shipping routes. The patterns weren't random, they were maintaining a network. Chen studied the holographic display showing centuries of mapped drone movements. Area, overlay these paths with known human emergency protocols. The AI compiled the data, revealing a complex web of supply lines and communication relays. Analysis confirms these routes align with Operation Seedfall contingencies, Area reported. High probability these automated systems were maintaining infrastructure for eventual human reemergence. A subtle smile crossed Chen's face. We didn't just hide, we prepared. Their discussion was interrupted by Lieutenant Hassan's voice over the intercom. Admiral, we're receiving encrypted transmissions on multiple old human frequencies. Sources are scattered across 12 sectors. It appears we weren't the only ones waiting, Chen mused. Area, begin decryption using preservation protocol keys. The messages began streaming in, each one remarkable. A research outpost in the Pleiades cluster, hidden beneath an artificial asteroid field. A deep space manufacturing facility masked by quantum camouflage. Agricultural colonies suspended in temporal bubbles, where only months have passed while centuries rolled by outside. This was all planned, Dr. Venn realized, her voice filled with awe. The disappearance, the hidden facilities, even the technological breadcrumbs left for the coalition to find. Humanity didn't face extinction. They orchestrated the greatest strategic withdrawal in history. And now we're seeing who remembered us, Chen added, noting the steady stream of diplomatic requests arriving from various coalition species. Area, analyze visitor patterns at known human cultural sites over the past 3 centuries. The data painted an interesting picture. Certain species had maintained continuous study of human achievements, preserving libraries and museums dedicated to Earth's legacy. Others had systematically worked to erase human influences from history. A priority message flashed across the screen. A private communication from Ambassador Rel of the Arcturian Confederation, one of the coalition's founding members. The elderly diplomat's hologram appeared before them, his crystalline form shimmering with emotion. Admiral Chen, he began, 300 years ago, my grandfather served alongside humans in the Battle of Proxima. He told me stories of your people's courage, of the solutions you found when others saw only problems. The Arcturian Confederation has not forgotten. We stand ready to help humanity reclaim its place among the stars. Similar messages followed. Species that had benefited from human innovation before the withdrawal offered support. Trade guilds that had maintained links with automated human facilities pledged loyalty. Even some former adversaries, impressed by the Hyperion's display of power and restraint, extended diplomatic overtures. They're choosing sides, Dr. Venn observed, watching the galactic political map reshape itself before their eyes. No, Chen corrected gently. They're remembering who their true friends were. Area, show me the status of those automated manufacturing facilities we've contacted. The display shifted, revealing vast complexes awakening from centuries of dormancy. Production lines hummed to life, beginning to create technology that had been carefully preserved for this moment. Humanity didn't just leave behind ruins and relics, Chen explained. We left behind hope that when we returned, there would still be those who remembered what we stood for. Not conquest, not dominion, but progress. The kind of progress that comes from working together. Dr. Venn studied the incoming data with growing excitement. The coalition thought they were examining human history in their museums and archives. They never realized they were looking at humanity's future instead. A new message flashed urgently on the main screen. a signal from deep space that made both women fall silent in surprise. Another piece of humanity's grand design was about to reveal itself. The Hyperion's sensors penetrated the quantum distortion field, revealing what should have been impossible. A massive station hung in engineered space, its design unlike anything seen in known space. Curved sections wrapped around the central sphere nearly 50 kilometers in diameter, the entire structure pulsing with contained energy. Sanctuary Station, Area announced, pride evident in the AA's synthesized voice. Humanity's greatest archive and the cornerstone of Operation Seatfall. Admiral Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, Dr. Ven at her side. Both women watched as the Hyperion approached the hidden marvel, its quantum frequencies automatically aligning with the station's defensive systems. The power readings are astronomical, Lieutenant Hassan reported from his station. The station is generating enough energy to power an entire sector, but somehow containing it all within its quantum envelope. Because it's not just powering systems, Dr. Ven realized, studying the data streams. It's powering time itself. The quantum envelope isn't just hiding the station, it's preserving it in a bubble of accelerated time. Aria confirmed the observation. Sanctuary Station has experienced approximately 7 years of subjective time since its activation 3 centuries ago. All systems remain at optimal functionality. The Hyperion docked with practiced precision, connecting to an airlock larger than most modern ships. Chen led the exploration team personally, stepping onto the station with a sense of reverence. The corridors were pristine, maintained by automated systems that had waited centuries for human return. Central Archive ahead, Araya guided them through their neural links, preparing full system activation. The doors opened to reveal a chamber that brought tears to Dr. Ven's eyes. Massive data cores lined the walls, each containing copies of human knowledge, arts, science, literature, music, the complete cultural heritage of Earth and her colonies, preserved perfectly. "It's all here," she whispered. "Everything we thought was lost." Chen approached a central console, her command codes awakening dormant systems. Holographic displays filled the chamber, showing the true scope of humanity's preservation efforts. Sanctuary wasn't just a library. It was the hub of an intricate network. "Display Operation Seedfall Strategic Overview," Chen commanded. The holograms shifted, revealing hundreds of hidden facilities across the galaxy. Manufacturing centers, research stations, agricultural colonies, all preserved in quantum bubbles of slowed time, waiting for the signal to reactivate. "We didn't run," Chen explained to Dr. Ven. "We advanced to prepared positions. Every facility was placed to maximize its strategic value for when humanity returned. The Hyperion wasn't just preserved by chance. We were a beacon meant to be found at exactly the right moment." A new hologram appeared, showing the current state of galactic politics. The Coalition's recent fracturing following the Hyperion's reappearance aligned perfectly with predicted social patterns from centuries-old human strategic models. "Your people planned for everything," Dr. Ven said, amazed. "But why wait so long? Why 3 centuries?" "Because humanity needed time," a new voice answered. They turned to see a hologram of an elderly man in an ancient military uniform, and the galaxy needed time to forget its fear of us. "Admiral Stevens," Chen straightened, recognizing the architect of Operation Seedfall. "Your final message." The hologram nodded. "If you're seeing this, the Hyperion has awakened and found sanctuary." The timetables projected that 3 centuries would be needed for the galaxy to evolve past its old fears and prejudices, for new powers to rise and fall, for humanity's contributions to be appreciated rather than feared. The message continued, revealing more of the grand design. Sanctuary held more than just knowledge. It contained the seeds of technology centuries ahead of current understanding. Innovations meant to solve problems that would only become apparent after humanity's withdrawal. "We didn't hide our best secrets in the Hyperion," Chen realized. "We hid them here, where they'd be safe until the galaxy was ready for them." Dr. Venn studied the station's schematics with growing excitement. This isn't just a library or a fortress. It's a foundation for humanity's return. No, Chen corrected, a smile forming. It's a foundation for everyone's future. We just had to make sure we'd be around to help build it. The Coalition Emergency Council session erupted into chaos as the Arcturian ambassador presented evidence from Sanctuary's archives. Holographic displays showed centuries of manipulated historical records, each revelation striking like a hammer blow against the old power structure. The attack fleet approaches. Admiral Lieutenant Hassan reported aboard the Hyperion. 300 vessels, including 50 dreadnoughts. They're deploying in attack formation Delta. Admiral Chen studied the tactical display, where red dots represented the largest coalition battle fleet assembled in a century. Around the Hyperion, their newly declared allies had assembled their own forces, a smaller but determined fleet of 90 ships. All allies are confirmed in defensive positions, Executive Officer Rivera announced. Arcturian and Centaurian forces are standing by for your command. Chen's voice carried across all allied frequencies. This is not a battle for supremacy, but a stand for truth. Hold positions and let the Hyperion demonstrate what humanity has kept in reserve. The enemy fleet launched their first strike, a coordinated barrage of graviton torpedoes and plasma lances designed to overwhelm any known defense system. The weapons streaked across space, their combined power enough to shatter a small moon. Air. Chen commanded. Initiate Protocol Omega. Show them what 3 centuries of quantum advancement looks like. The Hyperion's response defied conventional physics. Quantum fields expanded in complex patterns, creating a network of gravitational lenses. The incoming fire didn't impact shields. It simply ceased to exist, converted to pure energy, and absorbed into the ship's power grid. Energy reserves at 120%, Hassan reported with amazement. Their attack actually strengthened us. Chen nodded. Now, demonstrate why they called us the Lightning Dancer. Target their command ship's weapon systems only. No casualties. The Hyperion moved like liquid light, its massive form crossing impossible distances in microseconds. Precision beams of concentrated quantum energy lanced out, each shot finding its mark with surgical accuracy. Weapon systems across the enemy fleet went dark, disabled by technology they couldn't comprehend. Admiral, Dr. Venn called from her station. Incoming transmission from Sanctuary. The quantum network is active. All preserved facilities are reporting in. Across Coalition space, hidden human installations awakened. Quantum bubbles collapsed, revealing manufacturing centers, research stations, and defense platforms that had waited centuries for this moment. Each facility broadcasted on all frequencies, sharing data that proved humanity's true history. They're receiving the transmission fleet-wide, communications reported. Enemy vessels are standing down. Multiple ships are breaking formation. The Coalition fleet's coherence fractured as ships began choosing sides. Some maintained attack positions, while others withdrew or moved to join the Allied formation. The balance of power shifted with each passing moment. This was never about military victory, Chen explained to her bridge crew. Operation Seedfall wasn't a retreat, it was a strategic repositioning. We didn't just preserve our technology, we preserved the truth until the galaxy was ready to face it. A priority signal flashed on the main screen. The Coalition Council was voting to acknowledge humanity's historical records. More importantly, they were moving to establish a new framework for galactic cooperation, one based on shared knowledge rather than hoarded power. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Hassan announced. More human facilities are revealing themselves. The network is growing exponentially. Dr. Venn watched in awe as the tactical display filled with new signals. You didn't just hide humanity's achievements, she realized. You scattered them across the galaxy like seeds, waiting for the right moment to bloom. Because some victories aren't won through force, Chen responded, watching their former enemies stand down. They're won by showing a better path forward. Humanity didn't need to conquer the galaxy. We just needed to help it grow. The Hyperion's quantum fields pulsed with energy as more facilities came online, each one adding to the network of truth spreading across coalition space. The old order was crumbling, but something far more valuable was rising to take its place: understanding. 1 month after the Battle of Sanctuary, the Hyperion held position above Earth, its quantum sensors scanning the homeworld humanity had left behind. The planet's surface showed signs of recovery from ancient conflicts, nature reclaiming what war had scarred. Admiral Chen stood in the newly established Galactic Cooperation Chamber aboard the Hyperion, surrounded by representatives from 30 species. The chamber had been specifically designed for this moment, its quantum displays showing real-time data from hundreds of reactivated human facilities across known space. "The network is complete," Dr. Venn reported, her voice carrying pride. "All 217 preserved human installations are now fully operational and integrated. The quantum information grid spans the entire coalition territory." Araya's holographic form materialized in the chamber center. Final diagnostic complete. Sanctuary's archives are successfully synchronized across all nodes. Knowledge sharing can begin at your command, Admiral. Chen surveyed the assembled representatives, seeing hope and anticipation where fear had once resided. 3 centuries ago, humanity faced a choice. We could fight a war that would devastate the galaxy, or we could take the longer path. We chose to preserve rather than destroy, to plant seeds rather than salt the earth. The main display activated, showing the full scope of Operation Seedfall. Manufacturing centers were already producing advanced medical equipment, solving health crises that had plagued coalition species for generations. Research stations shared data that transformed theoretical physics into practical applications. "The quantum network isn't just for communication," Dr. Venn explained to the assembly. "It's a framework for collaboration. Every connected facility can share resources, processing power, and expertise in real time." A Centaurian scientist rose to speak, his crystalline form reflecting the chamber's lights. "Already our teams have made breakthroughs using human quantum computation methods. Problems that would have taken decades to solve are being resolved in days." "Because that was always the plan," Chen revealed. "Humanity didn't withdraw to punish the galaxy or to hoard our achievements. We withdrew to perfect them, to ensure that when we returned, we could offer solutions rather than recriminations." The chamber's displays shifted to show Earth's surface. Green zones were spreading as automated restoration systems, hidden beneath the surface for centuries, continued their work. Similar scenes played out on other worlds where human facilities had been preserved, each one contributing to a greater renewal. "The coalition is formally dissolved," announced the Arcturian ambassador. "In its place, we propose the Galactic Concordat, a true partnership of species, with humanity's preserved knowledge as its foundation." Chen nodded. The Hyperion was never meant to be a weapon of war. It was a beacon, drawing attention at the right moment of the right place. Each facility we preserved was positioned to help specific regions solve specific problems. We mapped the galaxy's needs centuries ago and prepared for them. Dr. Venn activated a new display, showing ships emerging from quantum bubbles across the galaxy. More human vessels are awakening. Research ships, medical ships, exploration vessels, each with its own crew and mission, preserved until they were needed most. "We called it Operation Seedfall," Chen explained, "because seeds need 3 things to grow: the right soil, the right season, and the right care. The galaxy wasn't ready for our technology before. It would have been a weapon rather than a tool. But now..." She gestured to the displays showing cooperation between species that had been enemies mere months ago. Scientists shared discoveries across the quantum network, while ships that had once fought each other now work together to restore damaged worlds. "Now we understand what humanity meant to show us," the Centaurian scientist completed her thought. "Knowledge isn't power. Sharing knowledge is." Above Earth, the Hyperion's quantum fields pulsed with energy, synchronizing with the growing network of awakened facilities. Humanity hadn't just returned. They had brought with them a new dawn for all species. The seeds they had planted through time and space were blooming into a garden more beautiful than any single civilization could have grown alone. The horizon wasn't just rising on a new day. It was rising on a new age, one that had been carefully planned, patiently awaited, and finally, joyfully realized.